Will be in the pole position to dominate.
Jeremy Grantham.
We've had a very, very abnormal honeymoon Goldilocks period.
First available on the Bloomberg Terminal, then on Bloomberg Television and Bloomberg.com. Front Row, the best seats in the house for business's greatest minds.
Mercedes-Benz is on a path towards CO2 neutral mobility. So we have flicked the switch there, and really we're going to step by step electrify everything. And what does that mean? Combustion engines get electrified.
I think that it's hard to put your head around any narrative. Let's just be honest. We've had sort of a shift in, are we in some sort of stagflation fears moment? People were talking about that all day yesterday.
24 seconds away from the opening bow this morning. Good morning to you as we kick off a brand new trading week stateside and Europe takes an extra day off. I'm not bitter at all. Futures down 1/4% on the S&P. On the Nasdaq, we're down about 0.2%. With the opening bow in New York City ringing. Switch at the board and get to the bond market. What a move it's been so far in April in the Treasury market. Yields higher, much higher on a 10-year. This morning, just a little bit lower, down a basis point to 281.62. In the FX market, euro dollar 108.03. Bit of euro weakness out there, down 0.1%. A lot of yen weakness recently, 12 straight days of it. A record run for dollar yen the last time I looked this morning. WTI crude 108.29, positive 1.25%. Around the open, energy up by 0.75%. The S&P down by 0.2%. Just looking for the financials, bottom of the pile, down 0.6%. With Bank of America and that stock price performance and a whole lot more. Let's get back to Shanali. Hey, Shanali.
John, if you're looking for loan growth, you're looking for it not just among the consumer businesses, but also in the commercial businesses. So if you're looking at the trading business, financing is actually one of the things that drove equities trading to a revenue over at Bank of America. But if you look under the hood here and you look at how much consumer loans are growing relative to commercial loans, it's only a 4% growth in consumer relative to a 16% growth in commercial businesses here. So there's a huge disparity among what you're seeing in terms of the overall jump at the consumer level. And that's the part that investors really want to see moving higher. You're not going to get a value multiple here for a volatile trading business here. It's the slow and steady NII growth, and Bank of America is taking those questions now on how sticky that NII growth can be in the face of a tough macro environment.
The CFO speaking at the moment, Shanali, levered to rates going up from here. I'm sure the business is. Yeah. At the same time, we get a headline from the World Bank cutting the 22 global GDP growth estimate to 3.2 from 4.1%. That is a chunky cut to the outlook. Are they speaking to this at all? Rates will help, sure, we get that. But this market at the moment seems to be very focused on the growth story going forward.
It certainly is the first question they got on the call. And what Bank of America is trying to say, they're trying to caution that the American consumer is still very flush with cash. And that should help stave off some of these worries about a slowing economy. But at the end of the day, what does that mean for loan growth? Because they're not going to generate much more revenue unless people keep borrowing. And right now, as they have been saying, the consumer's flush with cash.
Shanali, just fantastic work. I'll always repeat that. Every single earnings season around the bank. Shanali Basak there, our Wall Street correspondent, our chief correspondent on all things Wall Street. So the World Bank, here's the number, just to go through it again if you missed it. The 2022 global GDP growth forecast cut to 3.2% from 4.1%. We'll build on that a little bit later through the week as well. I want to talk about Twitter. I missed last week and I was jealous of not catching up with Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow on the West Coast. Twitter up today in early trading by almost 2%, approaching 46. Ed, what's the latest?
Yeah, you like your Elvis, John, because we had a tweet shock from Elon Musk quoting Elvis' 1956 ballad, Love Me Tender. Is that a sign of things to come, a tender directed to share offers? We'll see. You see we're flat right on the NASDAQ 100. Technology stocks coming off their first weekly decline in a month. Last week, or another way to look at it, we're coming off the drop we saw Thursday going into the long weekend. You see ARK Innovation ETF softer by 1.3%. Some of those higher multiple names, big tech names, some of which are due to report earnings this week, perhaps suffering. Twitter, a main focus and gainer on the S&P 500 in the technology sector. This is where we're at, right? A consideration of the pace of Fed tightening. Come with me into my Bloomberg terminal. Look at this. The US 10-year yield is at its highest level since the end of 2018, right? We're considering the outlook for inflation as yields rise. Tech stocks have dropped off in recent sessions and recent weeks. The question is, are we heading for recession as we enter a very key earnings week across big names in the technology sector? We're looking for signs of outlook of consumer strength, but also what an ongoing impact of higher input costs is and the supply chain And, you know, these are names that we're looking at, John. It's relentless and it comes thick and fast. You start with IBM, Netflix Tuesday, you move to Tesla on Wednesday in consideration of the situation in Shanghai, plant shut down with what's going on in COVID. And then the social media landscape, Snap, really interesting. Don't often pay as much credence to Snap earnings. Will this week, though.
Ed, looking forward to it, and we're going to catch up with you again in just a moment to have a deeper dive on what's been happening with Elon Musk and with Twitter as well. So let's go through it together. So tech's been struggling year to date, we know that. The banks have been struggling even with the higher rates. And Mike Wilson and Morgan Stanley wrote this, and I think it's important to go over just the data on what's been happening. The derating has been most severe in the expensive and or economically sensitive areas of the market, while defensive areas have actually seen multiples expand. So we've got this defensive bias gripping the equity market year to date. Taking a look, here's Taylor Riggs.
John, it's so interesting. The theme that we've seen in the last few weeks has been the theme, as you mentioned, year to date. Energy, of course, the big outperformer, up 45%, up 3.5% in the last few weeks or so. Take that out. Everything else, like you said, pretty defensive, right? Staples, utilities, typically a big outperformer when yields fall, sort of that safe haven. Some of the big outperformers, not only in the last few weeks, but again, massively for the year. I think it was interesting that you mentioned Mike Wilson, of course, over at Morgan Stanley, and sort of uniting on this key theme when it comes to some of the strategists over at Bank of America. And you think about sort of the healthcare sector, maybe a more traditional sector, seeing massive inflows really here for the last few weeks as well. And as you can see here on your terminal, the outperformance that has been massive, yields higher, but not really sort of the financials and not really technology, as you mentioned there. So really starting to see that defensiveness and not really filtering through in some of those more classic risk on sectors. Financials, again, sort of the big key theme here is we've been talking a lot about that divergence and sort of the breakdown in correlations that we've typically seen.
Taylor, awesome. Looking forward to the coverage later as well with you and the team. Caroline Hyder and Romain Bostic coming up on the close a little bit later on Bloomberg TV. Taylor mentioned it, I talked about it too. Morgan Stanley have been very, very focused on this, with Dan Skelly weighing in on the rotation into defensive. We caught up with him a little bit earlier. Take a listen to what he had to say. We don't have that particular piece of sound, I'm afraid to say, so we can go straight to PIMCO's Tony Crescenzi. Tony, let's get to you on that. This defensive bias gripping this equity market. From the bond side of things, I'm seeing a steeper curve, not a flatter one, not an inverted one anymore. I'm seeing higher yields too. What's that speaking to, Tony?
Well, it's just a reversal of some of the flattening that we saw that had a lot to do with simply a readjustment for the outlook on short-term interest rates. And so now we see that adjustment's done, at least for now, in the market size, and we're getting the steepening that reflects what we would have said a month ago, even during the flattening we did, and we had our last conversation, which is that the idea that the U.S. economy is likely to continue with its expansion with growth above potential this year. Most yield curve indicators, models suggest a recession odds of 10% or less for this year. Yes, you see articles and firms discussing 2023 with the potential for a recession being higher, call it 20 to 30% or more. But it does look like the outlook for economic growth is still sanguine, and the spread between 2s and 30s on the Treasury curve, bills and 30s and 10s especially, clearly indicate expansion should be expected this year.
Tony, you've done some work recently on the transmission channels for monetary policy. You've also been thinking about where the tipping point is for yields, and I'm often thinking the same thing. When does the sell-off start to become self-limiting? Tony, can you give us some insight into your thinking at the moment?
Well, if a bond investor had something to worry about, what I've thought about, at least in terms of the next few years, is this stair-step pattern for a boiling frog scenario where yields rise a bit, but the markets more broadly, the equity market, the credit markets, and other asset classes show some comfort with that level. So, for example, let's say it was the rise in the 10-year yield from 1.5 to 1 3/4, then 2, then 2 1/4, and 2.5. And you did see a certain comfort level pre-war that indicated, therefore, that the burden of the tightening would be on the bond market. So there are 5 transmission channels by which monetary policy works. It's bond yields, stock prices, credit spreads, bank lending standards, and the U.S. dollar. And if only one of those things is moving, then that one thing, the bond yield, would have to move the most. Because in other words, if equity prices are rising, that would be loosening financial conditions and helping the economy. And so there need to be an offset. And so right now, though, you see, of course, wobbling in other asset classes. It may be war related, and certainly a lot of it is. But the burden is no longer simply on the bond market, and that is part of the steepening that's occurring because it looks like the Fed's job in terms of what it's planning to do might be enough, but we still can't know. It's much too early to say, but it looks like the
Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing today? Whew. I'm your boy Christian Israel, and you are tuned into Christ in Crypto in the Morning. It is Monday, April 18th, and we are here every single day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. It's been a crazy weekend here, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We celebrated Christ yesterday, and he has risen. He has defeated death, and that is the key. It is not about Easter bunnies and eggs, not on this show at least, but about Christ and his sacrifice for us. What an amazing weekend. Thank you, Lord, for all that you have done. And thank you guys for tuning in today. When you get here to Christ in Crypto in the Morning, you guys know, please do that social media thing. The goal is to get 10 likes every single show, whether it be here or on the 3 sections that we drop later on. So you guys know that we have a new setup. We will drop 3 sections after this. We'll break down long sum, short sum, which will be Bitcoin, XRP, XLM, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And then we're going to go into our daily topics where we're going to discuss today Ripple. We're going to focus on Ripple and XRP today. Not only that, but what Brad Garlinghouse said and the news out of the White House regarding an ex-advisor from Ripple. So we're going to discuss that. And then we're going to close out with some investment news, whether spiritually or financially from the scriptures regarding Matthew 25, 14, 30, which is called the parable of the bags of gold. So that's what we'll talk about in investing. In the meantime, I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day so far. If you got in here or you're on your way back from vacation, I know overseas right now, the markets are not open, but here in America, the markets are open this morning after taking Friday off. And boy, oh boy, have they done what to be expected. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead. Let me look. Opening on air. There we go. We're going to, let's see, make sure, looking around. Okay, let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead, guys, and jump into long sum, short sum. Well, we are here in long sum, short sum, and has it not been a crazy, like literally 24 hours? Now that I reloaded that, as expected, things are running. I know Luna has really popped off or dropped off and tried to rebound off a $74 target. So let's jump in because Bitcoin right now, guys, is under $40,000. And if this is your first time looking at long sum, short sum, my name is Christian Israel. And we do this every single morning, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Like I just said on the previous live stream that we are currently on, which is called Christ in Crypto in the Morning. This is the first section. Long sum, short sum will be uploaded later. We're going to discuss Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Litecoin, and that's it. XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Yep, that's it. Those 5. And I was going to possibly look at Phantom FTX. That's why I was thinking about it. But in the meantime, let's jump in. Bitcoin is sitting under $40,000 right now, guys. Sitting at $39,380. Under 40K as expected. Down 7% over the last 7 days. Really, most of that has happened in the last 4 days. Ethereum back under 3,000. Where a lot of people are worried. We spoke about this on Long Sum Short Sum on Friday. About these $40,000 and $3,000 levels for Ethereum. BNB still holding strong above $400. You got XRP sitting at 74.5, trying to hold 70.5 cents, 73.5 cents, trying to get 2 days above 75 cents. We have yet to do that. Solana sitting under 100 at 98.34. Terra Luna at 83.94. Cardano sitting at 90 cents. Avalanche sitting at 74.57. Polkadot in the number 9 spot. It's $17.62. That's DOT. And last but not least, in the number 10 spot, holding it strong, is Doge at 13.6 cents. So without further ado, let's go ahead, guys, and jump on into these charts. And let me go to the big screen because you don't need to see my face whatsoever when I do this. So let's get it. Okay, so we're here. This is Bitcoin, guys. This is the chart as expected that's been playing out since last Wednesday. If you get a chance, go to the long sum short sum on YouTube. Replay that from Wednesday. You'll see that this is the call that was made. Took some time to play out. We wanted to watch, especially because it just rejected off the 200. But here we do fibs and pivot points and Elliott wave as our main focuses. We have the other indicators as well. But let me break out my arrow for you, and I won't make this too long. But overall, this was our target of watching 38,900. We knew that this would be the bottom target, at least. It could break down a little lower, but it did. So it waited for the weekly to finish, as you see here. Literally what it did through the weekly, over the weekend, and it just, there's the 15th, which is Thursday, and then into Friday, and into Saturday, and then yesterday was Sunday, the 17th, and then at 7 o'clock. Was that 5 o'clock it started? Yeah, at 5 o'clock it started. Okay, 4 o'clock, sorry, 4 o'clock it started. We had our first breakdown, boom, all the way down to, and it held till 7, until the weekly close. It gave us a little bullish pendant, which is really not bullish to me at all. It's actually called a rising wedge, and I'll draw that for you real quick, just so you can see that little 5 hours of rising wedge action there, right there. And then it continued its down move to finish our target box. And now we're sitting up above the pivot, and we're waiting to see what happens here. And now I'm in the context that I'm not bullish on Bitcoin whatsoever, and it's making me very, very, what's the word? I want to make sure, let's do this. I want to make sure, guys, that Bitcoin is semi-stable, because as it ranges, as Bitcoin continues to range, the altcoins will continue to get murdered. But at the same time, when we're expecting a bounce off those altcoins as Bitcoin hits lower levels. So you got the push down of more violent moves followed by bounce. We have not seen the violent bounce up out of there yet. So we're not quite ready. So I am waiting and waiting as long as we can. I might try to see if we can catch another short. I don't like weekend trading. Weekend trading is very dangerous in a lack of liquidity pool because it's just wicks all over the place. But now that we have actually come down and touched almost to 38.1, we have not yet. That's the 2.414. I am still expecting this to touch, at least touch. I'm not saying down to 30K, but at least touch, and then give us a little retracement. If we don't get a retracement above 42,000, we are coming to come down and touch the next level of 34,500, which will also back test this wick here, but we will not come back down to 32. So still some things we are working itself out. I will not be surprised as we now have our target, guys, and I'm going to box this for you right now, right here, in the flesh, in person. That little target right there, see that back test breakout? Look where we are. Very similar to what just happened over the weekend, targeting in that same section. So, guys, to let you know, 29,000 is on the table for Bitcoin. I do not like that whatsoever. If you're an altcoin hodler, you probably won't like that. But out of this bounce here, we should see something. But you see this? There's not a lot of volume on this 4 hour. So you just got this massive sell-off here, which told us this is the trend change. That volume indicated a trend change. And now we're working our way down. Again, this is the level that needs to hold, 38.5. And as I've been saying it, or we're going to go down another level. So 30,000 is on the table officially for Bitcoin. And this is your back test right there. This is where we're looking at officially. So I'll get my buys ready for 30,000. A little margin trade there and see if that can go. And speaking of finished product, Ethereum finished its full move from April 5th. Like, this has been a long move, guys. April 5th is where we started right here, saying that it's going to reject the $3,600 mark and to look for a 5-way move or an ABC down to 2,900, if not 2,600, right? So we discussed on this show these two levels, bang and bang. to range. If we broke through those levels, that this red line right here would be our next test. Now, I'm still not saying that's for sure. Here's why. Because you guys know when we break under a 0.5, then we test under the 0. The 0 here, which is the starting point, our 0 percentage, is $2,293. Okay? I'm not sold on that yet. I'm not happy with Bitcoin, but if Bitcoin goes down, these are levels that we will be looking at. And when we break 50 cent, the 0.5, which is $2,854, we will test at least a $100 drop down. If that breaks lower than that $100 test here, guys, which is the 0.414, we got a bunch of confluence here, bunch of 0.5s here, okay? 0.5 there, 0.5 there, 0.414 there, 414 here. This area right here, if we do not come up and violently get out of here, which I don't like, that we haven't got a great candle out of there, the equities market is selling off. Again, Tuesdays are the days you want to do trading anyway. Mondays are dangerous because you don't really get a good direction. It's kind of a fake out direction on Monday. So Tuesdays is when you want to enter this trade after the close to see what happens. We are not quite on support yet, even though it technically is support, but I'm going to call it, what do you say? What's the word I'm looking for? Fib support. So we're on fib support, but 3,000 is a nice even number, but we're sitting under it right now. So I'm going to just take all that crap off and let you just look at the chart real quick. And this is your chart. So you can see here, at least down to, you see this gap area that came down and filled, but now we have all this space in here. And everything likes to fill. So 2,000 was on the bubble. We don't want to see that, but this chart is just looking very ugly right now, to be honest with you. Like, it's not looking good. So there'll be some targets. We're going to wait it out. Mondays are very dangerous days to trade. Sunday's normally a short day. Monday is a wait day. Tuesday is a long day. So we're going to see if that works out or not over the next 12 hours until after the close this afternoon or this evening. So that's ETH. Let's go into XRP. XRP had its volatile breakdown to the 702. Let me get off of that and go to the 4 hour. Okay. Open this up. Oh, wonderful. Now, we also expected XRP to finish this move, and it did finish this move. 5-wave move here. 1, 2, 3, 4 long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down to 68 cents on April 11th. And it's been grinding its way up ever since. And it's back testing right now a nice little spot that we are looking at. Now, what's weird for me is that I actually have that here when this should be here. So let's see if this finished this move. Almost. This is where this should be. For now. I just want to see what that looks like. Okay, nope. So you see this bottom here? There's your top, bottom. I'm going to take a little more measured movement. I just want to test. I didn't look at this morning quite right. All right, now we're here. Oh, that looks much better. Yep, see how all that lines up better. Let me transition this over so you can see it. Okay, so let's get on the arrows. So this is a 0.5 from a larger move where the 0 is 68 cents. And I think it's 92. Yeah, 91.2 is your 1-to-1, meaning the targets, if this breaks and holds above 50 cents, your target for this move will be 170 before pullback to 124. So 124 to 170 is a short-term move, but once we get up there, we could be consolidating. And if we continue to consolidate that area, it'll be flagging. So that's what we're looking at. We're just at points where Bitcoin's going to range. XRP did what's as expected over the weekend. Like everything else, it broke down under the channels. Now it's back testing these channels right here. Bink, and sitting above the pivot as of now, above the pivot. So let me go on the 15-minute to see where exactly we're sitting. Okay. Now we got a little more clarity here. So we rejected off that pivot. It says a target, guys, is still sitting at 70.5 cents. And I would not be surprised. That is actually what I'm looking for in Bitcoin or XRP specifically. Another 70-cent flat test. And that should possibly be the one. I'm looking for the back tests as this ramps up. Again, that is what? Let me see. What percentage is that from here? That is, what time? 9:15. Okay, what percentage is that from here? From here to there. It's about a 5% move, which means Bitcoin about another 2 to 3% move. So if I look at Bitcoin, considering what I thought it would do, let's look. Price range, we're saying we're looking at possibly either, what was the next one? Down to here. Let's see. What does that move? Oh, look at that. Perfect. Okay. We said we're looking for this move to finish and actually touch our 248, right? Our 2.414 we have not touched. So if that was happening, that would be actually a perfect little, 2.5% move down, which would back up that 5.86% move on XRP. So it's a possibility. We could see how this plays out over the next 24 hours. My concern here is equity markets look like trash. Equity markets are trash right now, but that's kind of what they want. Push down, push down, push down. Whenever we have someone to long these long positions, there's got to be a seller, right? So there are still sellers at every market. Right now, I know a lot of people are like, as soon as XRP gets to $1.25, I'm selling it. I'm going to tell you, that's going to be probably the stupidest mistake you're ever going to make, because once we break up above those levels again, which we are looking very formal, like if we consolidate in that level, we won't be going down. The question is, will Bitcoin allow us to get over that? And that's why I believe over the next 90 days with this SEC trial going on, or SEC court case going on, and all the things, that's what's holding us down. And the whole crypto market is waiting on XRP. That is what I believe. It's not waiting on Bitcoin. It is not waiting on the equities market. The whole crypto market and the money, smart money on the side that is waiting for it, is waiting for the SEC suit to be finished, which will be wrapped up in the next 90 days. I know the SEC is trying to extend it one more time, but I doubt they're really going to follow that. And like that, we know that XLM, guys, is following XRP. So same thing. It's under the parabola here. Let me mix this real quick. Under the parabola, I always get my arrow. Whoop. However, on the target point, you got 15.4 cents as a possible target down to the S3, which is showing up. Again, targets are showing up as long as, let me make sure I got the right button here, guys. There we go. As long as we are under that red line, it's just simple enough. This is how simple I'm trying to make this for people now, because I know people are asking me for specific targets, and I don't want to do that on this. And I'm working on that, another little thing for that. But in the meantime, as long as we are under this, see that consolidation breakdown, which happened yesterday at 7 o'clock at the opening, everything broke down. So this is a 4-wave. See that side wave? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, 1, 2, 3, C. So now we got an impulse wave out of there. We're going to see how this reacts at 19.8. Again, if everything else is looking downward, then this could also follow, but it could range as the RSI gets reset, because it's hard, right? This is the hard thing about crypto, is it's a 24-hour market, and on the weekends and after the markets are closed, liquidity is little, so therefore market movers can do what they want to do. So be very careful, because I know a lot of people are trying to get in little altcoins right now. And you're trying to get in some of those altcoins or those nodes or whatever it may be, waiting for the prices. The more all those major altcoins seem to already had its run. You know, you're up 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 to 10,000%. Some are 20, 30,000%. They have moved overall in the last 2 years. Those are pretty much done. So you're chasing small movements here. That's why I'm not focusing on those a lot. Whether it be you think 5 years down the road it's got tech, I'm focused right now on these moves that have not happened yet. Those are XLM, Litecoin, XRP, EOS, Zcash. Some of those like that have not moved yet, and that's what we're looking at. So XLM kind of fired off of that dump, which is what we want to see. Litecoin is still holding. I told you guys 102 to 103 would be a great area to get into, and that is no different than right now as well, because this is the area I said we would back test and hopefully get into the 103 area right here, and it has. So far, we've worked its way up to the 3702, and now we've back tested 702. I would not be surprised to get one more test of 103. Okay, you see how this broke up right here, and we don't have any back testing going on in this area. Let me make sure this chart is right first before I start to really get into it. Let's make sure this chart is right. Oh, look, there's our wave, absolute wave. It just told me that there's wave 1. Let's zoom in. Boom. Okay, so the absolute wave kicked in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Yeah, we could have an A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we could be looking at a back test depending on this RSI right here. It's coming up to test that momentum. Knowing we get a rejection, looks like it might be around 107 that happens, which we're sitting at right now. This still looks very possible to roll over and finish it. You have 105, right? You got some good 105 to 104. We don't want it to break back below that area, because if it does break back below that area, we are going down. And if that's going down there, we're looking at down everywhere else as well. So that's what we're seeing in Litecoin. Small, one more back test across the board for everything as a possibility. RSI is low, so we're looking at firing off. That's what we want to see. We just don't have a lot of volume coming in. Without the volume coming in, we can't scream reversal. We cannot scream reversal yet. We have to follow the trend until we get volume candles coming in. So you see here, there's our volume candles. We don't have, when we zoom in, we don't have a lot. Okay, we don't have big volume candles. See that? Very small. Even if I come in on the 10-minute, right? On that, you see that sell candle here? Let me get you an arrow. See that sell candle right here? That came off of that. And there's a buy candle right there. You see that nice long green? We want to see that here. We get a green reversal candle here. That's what we'll be looking for, guys. But in the meantime, that's what I see here in these charts for Litecoin, XLM, XRP, Ethereum, last but not least, Bitcoin, guys. We're waiting on Bitcoin. It's sitting there, sitting that support, looking for a back test of $40,150. I am going to look to short that area right in here, hopefully later today or tonight. I'm just not strong on Bitcoin. And if I get popped there, I get popped as a stop loss, because I'm definitely looking at shorting this area right here, 40,500, one more time on the back test and bring it on down. In the meantime, guys, if you guys are tuned in along some short sum every single day, we're here 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then I upload this later as well. But if you want to grab the new creation cronies group in the Telegram, we're in there. We share a lot of information as well. You can follow me on the podcast. Christ and Crypto Podcast is on what? Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Apple Podcasts. And of course, we kick it off right here on Anchor. You can also get updates on New Creation Cap on Twitter. But that's the end of, guys, of long sum, short sum. So make sure you comment below, do the social media thing. Let me know. That's the end of this section. See you guys soon. Okay. Well, let me say hi to Ilya. What's going on, brother? How are you doing? How is Cali doing for you this morning? Man, if Cali looks crazy. Anything I see on the news, Cali is looking crazy. And when I mean crazy, I don't even know what to say, honestly, because it's insane, right? It's just straight out insane. So I don't know what to tell you. But let me go ahead. Let's see here. Big screen. Come on. What's going on here? Trying to get over there. Let me get over there. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to discuss here in a second when I jump into some Ripple news this morning. We're going to focus on that and what's going on with the White House nomination here in a second. But I break these down again. I don't need to repeat because live stream is here just to kind of flow and get in between. But later on today, noon, 1, 2, 3 in that area, these will be re-uploaded. I'll try to do the TA one first, like immediately after, within the next 2 hours. Upload that, get that going so you get a good idea. But again, it's Monday, so it's just a news cycle Monday. After Easter, not all of the world is open yet. So let's talk about what's happened over the last few days. So I said hi to Ilya. If anybody else in the chat, make sure you say hello. I don't know if it's stopping. A lot of people got stopped last time. So let's go ahead and hit that transition. Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. This is the daily topics section that We do every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. You know what it is. If you hit the subscribe button, if you follow, if you hit the notification bell, you are notified right now that I am live or that this was just uploaded. And if you like these sections, share them. Because without you guys, this channel doesn't really do anything. Every single day, I try to get 10 likes. It helps with the algorithm. It's pretty much it because I'm getting blocked left and right and shadow banned left and right on multiple things. So let's go ahead and dive into some of this news. So that requires me actually to put my headset on because we're going to dive into some of this stuff. Let me go big screen here. Boom. Okay, so the Ripple CEO describes battle with SEC as going exceedingly well. And so instead of me reading this whole article to you, I figured we would just do this and hit that play button. So let's give it a listen.
Wait, Ripple uses the XRP token in our tech stack. We use it to enable that cross-border, extremely fast and extremely reliable transaction. So we use XRP because of its attributes that make it fast and inexpensive. There are other tokens that people use for other use cases that don't work as well for payments. The XRP ledger, from its origins, has really enabled payments at scale in a way that certainly Bitcoin, while it's very good for digital gold, its speed and cost per transaction makes it less attractive for a payments type use case. So Ripple will continue to use XRP because of its core attributes as a really efficient technology.
Is that something you see continuing in your tech stack going forward?
For sure, without question. And I think you'll see Ripple use the XRP ledger for other use cases as well. We're certainly making investments, as I mentioned, in the carbon credit marketplace and other verticals that we think could be compelling.
We've seen a lot of market volatility, of course, in the public equity markets. We've seen that filter through to the crypto markets as well. What's your outlook for the rest of the year? Do you expect sort of crypto markets to push higher and that volatility reduce, or are you expecting just this continued sort of seesawing we're seeing?
I think it's really hard to know the timing, but I'm incredibly bullish on crypto overall. And frankly, that's because of the macro factors. There's two that I'll highlight. The macro factor around inflation globally. You saw this past week record inflation for I think 4 decades. Inflation in the United States at 8.5%. The other factor I think is really important not to lose sight of is, as you and I have talked about, the move from crypto overall towards an institutional use case, solving real problems for real customers and these scaled solutions that aren't just about the speculative activity that has really driven some of the historic crypto market activity.
Brad, I want to sort of move on and talk about regulation, which has been a huge topic yesterday, and it will continue today as well. You're currently in a legal battle with an SEC that's been going on for a year or so. Can you give us an update on that and when you expect a resolution?
That started in December 2020, and the core question there is around a nuanced legal question. Is XRP a security? And did Ripple sell, as an XRP, an investment contract? Did Ripple sell unregistered securities? Did I, Brad Garlinghouse, sell XRP as an unregistered security? I think it's very clear that in the United States, the laws have not been clear. And for the SEC then to go back in time and say, you should have known all along, it's really, I think, going to be hard. It's a hard case. And I think what we're seeing in the court process, which does continue to play out, is a judicial process that recognizes some of this. Even this past couple days, there was a ruling from the court finally requiring the SEC to publish information about some speeches that the Director of Corporate Finance, Hinman, gave about Ether not being a security. And the fact that even now you have the SEC not able to answer the question, is Ether a security? They won't answer that question. They're saying there's clarity, but then they won't provide clarity. They're saying they won't comment on specific projects, but then they comment on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is one of the largest projects, but yet still just a project.
Just in terms of broader crypto market regulation, we had, of course, the executive order from President Joe Biden. At the time, there was a lot of criticism. Well, this doesn't sort of go far enough. It's not laying out specifics. What's your view on it? Did you think it was significant for the market?
I think it was very significant. I think it's very positive. Frankly, the leadership we've seen outside of the United States in crypto regulation is way ahead of where it has been in the U.S. It's something we've been saying for years. And I think at the core of the executive order from the Biden administration is acknowledging that exact point, that the competitiveness of the U.S. in these developing markets around crypto, around blockchain technologies has fallen behind, and more investment and more talent is going outside the United States. When entrepreneurs here in Paris talk to me about starting companies in the crypto space, one of the first things I'll recommend to them is you shouldn't start the company in the United States because there isn't that clarity. And so a lot of the hiring, even for Ripple, we'll hire over 300 people this year. Well over half of those I expect to be non-US based.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersetchi, and thanks.
All right. Well, thank you, Versana. I appreciate you for showing us that clip. So there's some things there that Brad said, which we like, right? It's been a great year for Ripple. They also understand the SEC is going to turn over all this stuff. Nothing we don't know. They also said the U.S. He also said the U.S. is far behind. Nothing that we don't know. And we already understand this, so it's nothing different. There's no real news in that statement. I want to play that clip for you so you can hear, because Brad was just in Paris doing a fireside chat with Wharton and talking about that. And there's not a lot to go that you can't get on other channels. I don't really want to speak more about that. I want to go more into the next clip, which this is what I want to talk about today. Not clip, but the next step. Because Ripple news is Allbridge brings DeFi to the XRP ledger. Now, we know recently, not just in that in the XRP. First off, let me say hi to Alex Yeet. I just saw you, brother. Good morning to you. Ripple news, everything is, we got NFTs coming in, right? I told you, I don't know if I told you this. Did I tell you this? Well, if not, I'm going to tell you right now. We are launching, our goal is to launch our NFTs on the XRP ledger. We're not going to launch them on Ethereum. I don't like messing with Ethereum at all whatsoever. So I know as people like me who are like, well, you're going to miss all the Ethereum booms and all the Ethereum booms. Over the last year, you're missing all that money. And my thought process is, you know what? Sometimes it's just not worth it. Sometimes it's just not worth the stress of reaching for those heights when you know what you're in and you're patient. And one of those is really understanding the NFT market and what we're doing. Multiple. You know, we're going to fly the drone around some places to get some really cool shots. We're working on some stuff on Illustrator. Working with Morales. If you guys have heard of Morales, let me show you real quick. This is Morales right here. So it's how to bulk mint NFTs. So there's a little trick for you though, but that's not on the XRP ledger. But it's just how to do that. So anybody knows how to do this, looking for people to talk who can discuss NFTs specifically and how to build them. I don't really care about how much they cost. We want to learn how to create and build your wealth on this channel. So that's what we're looking at there. As the DeFi comes to the XRP ledger, which we already knew, it's not a surprise that it's not coming because the XRP ledger is going to take over everything. So the integration with XRP ledger allows us, which is payments.com, to deeply enhance our cross-chain expertise and offer a truly unique solution to the market. The co-founder of Allbridge said in a statement. The goal, he added, is to establish an interconnected cross-chain environment. During the second quarter, Allbridge said it will add assets to the XRP ledger the second quarter. Okay, let me play this for you. Not play this, highlight it for you. Starting with Solo, a token of the Solo ecosystem. Okay, so Allbridge is going to use the XRP ledger and put Solo, the Solo token, on there. Ripple provided Allbridge with technical support to integrate the XRP ledger through its blockchain expertise. Together, Allbridge and Ripple are contributing to growing cross-chain interoperability as many in crypto build towards a multi-chain future. Remember, all these people saying it's just this, it's just this, it's just this. No, that's why we like Quant. Quant is interoperable between all the different distributed ledger technologies, okay? And that's what you want to see. You want to see interoperability. So it says, within the last month, Ripple announced will commit 1 billion XRP to develop new use cases on the XRP ledger. So that's about a little less than $1 billion, about $750 million right now that they are doing to the XRP ledger. Again, we're going to have NFTs on this XRP ledger. Now we've got DeFi coming to the XRP ledger. And I think it's really, really important to understand that the Ethereum, this is why Ethereum people hate Ripple. Not only the fact that they call them out for the corruptness that's going on, but more importantly, Ripple's XRP ledger is the best out there for everything that it wants to do. You got some things that move specifically for smart contracts, like XDC is amazing, specifically for that thing, or VeChain, specifically for supply chain, right? Amazing, amazing projects. Hedera Hashgraph works on a hashgraph, doesn't even work on the blockchain. And we're going to go over that soon and about the staking and how to stake, even though you need to lock up till July. So we're going to discuss those things. We're going to discuss Constellation and DAG later on this week too. But today is Ripple. Today is XRP. And this is what we need to speak about, because a lot of people are, I need to tell you right now, those who are looking at selling at 150 or take profit at 150, as I've looked at those charts and really dove in, once we get to those areas, you're going to see all the other cryptos sitting in those areas. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be a lot of people chasing everything else, and they are going to miss the XRP move. They are going to miss it. All this news is saying next 60 to 90 days, Q2, everything is Q2 launching on top of that Ripple case. So just letting you know. Here's the last thing. It says this partnership offers a unique opportunity to add support to the XRP ledger, enabling millions of DeFi users to interact with the XRP ecosystem. Okay? The XRP ledger was created in 2012 with the first decentralized exchange. Remember, they're also moving that. For example, here's an example. Say you're looking to trade from Bitcoin to Ethereum on the XRP ledger decentralized exchange. And there is no ETH BTC liquidity, but there are ETH USD, BTC USD, ETH XRP, and BTC XRP pairs. Pathfinding will execute the trade by finding the most efficient path within seconds, be it XRP or another bridge asset where liquidity is the best. Since its inception, more than $2 billion has been traded on the XRP ledger's DEX. This is where we want to go, fast trading. This is why I'm trying to get onto this eventually, and I'm just going to trade everything in XRP, period. Even my margin trading, everything. Why? Because one, transaction fees are cheap. Just to trade in and out of USDT and Bitcoin is like $40 each trade. So if your trade is not at least $50 that you're making, right, you're losing money. Okay, so this is what we want to see, and you know it's compatible with all. That's XLM, that's XDC, right? That's what we just mentioned. It's going to be comparable with all. XRP is the one that will connect everything on the ledger. Quant is the one behind the scenes that will connect all the different technologies, right? So that is what we were looking at for there. And then for me, that's pretty important. I mean, do you like it? Good morning, Lee Lord. Good to see you too, brother. Do you like it? What are your thoughts? I mean, you know, I've been so bullish on XRP since the moment I heard in 2015, 2016 that it was called a banker's coin. That's all I heard. I didn't know what Ripple was. I didn't know what XRP was, but I knew it was a banker's coin. And that's what they see there. And I'm going to play, let's see, how long is this?
So here's
2 minutes and 36 seconds. Do I have the time? Let me see if I have the time. Okay. I don't know if I have the time, but this is what Jim Rickards is basically saying. 2 minutes and 36 seconds, 7 minutes. I'm going to do 3 minutes. Okay, yeah. And then, let me see. 1 minute. Okay, I do have the time, and I'm going to play for you real quick.
Here's a preview of the future. When I say the future, everything on the slide is already in development or working. So this is not science fiction. This is not something for the 22nd century. It's happening now. Basically, China and Russia are building their own cryptocurrency system. Now, when I say cryptocurrency, don't go out and buy Bitcoin. I don't like Bitcoin. I think it's the worst thing you could do. But the world of cryptocurrencies is not limited to Bitcoin. There are actually over 2,000 cryptocurrencies, some of them quite small. But you could go home tonight with the right software, you could invent your own cryptocurrency called the Icon coin. But Russia and China are developing their own. What used to be called the blockchain, today people call it the distributed ledger. So this is distributed ledger technology. They're developing their own coin or token. It'll be heavily encrypted, military-grade encryption, with their own pipes, meaning their own kind of private internet. And imagine an economy that looks like the following. So Iran sells oil to China. North Korea sells weapons to Iran. China sells infrastructure to Russia. Russia sells weapons to China. Russians take a vacation in Turkey because it's a pretty country, and so on. So I've just described a whole trading network, and imagine it's all done with this cryptocurrency. So all we do is keep score. And you can keep score with baseball cards, bottle caps. I mean, it doesn't have to be money to keep score. It's just a way of keeping track. pegged to the SDR, the special drawing right, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, managed through a cryptocurrency system that's encrypted and secure. And then every now and then, once a month, once a quarter, once a year, we look at the chits and we decide who owes what to whom, and we settle up in gold. And we put the gold on a plane, fly it over to the other guy, and there it is. So this is a combination of a 21st cryptocurrency system with a 19th century or 5th century BC, if you like, gold system. You're combining the two, the oldest form of money and the newest form of money. Notice what's missing in everything I just described. No dollars. There's no dollar in that system. The SDR, the cryptocurrency, gold, the ledger, the trading network, all play a role, but there's no dollar in that system. That's what we're moving up towards.
No physical dollar in that system. So far, we've seen this played out, guys. This was 2008, and now we know that we have seen this play out really in the war right now. Right now, 4 years later, it is playing out. So I wanted to show that to you, that this guy has been on point from everything from ICE9 to cryptocurrency, to where XRP is going, to where XLM is going, to where China and Turkey and Russia and Brazil, all those things. This man has been on fire and understanding it, because this is kind of what he did when he worked for the CIA. So when we see that here, I gotta take a step forward. I'm gonna jump forward now. Okay, we're gonna fast forward to 4 years, and this is important. Digital asset and infrastructure leader PolySign acquires top digital currency and digital asset fund administrator MG Stover. So why is on this? Well, I'm glad Lee just popped in, because Lee spoke about somebody who really owns, who is a big institutional investor here, that owns digital asset fund administrator. So why do I say that? Because I typed in George, I'm not even going to spell his name, Soros, and I'm going to type in PolySign. Now, when I type in George Soros and PolySign, that is the article that comes up. George Fund Management, CB Sites. You say here, Soros Fund Management was founded 1969. Digital asset infrastructure, top security. So this is about this guy's fund. I'm just going to point that out. If you don't know who George Soros is, I'll get into that another day. But this was brought to my attention. So the fact that it was brought to my attention, and I'm a big PolySign guy in standard custody, because we use PolySign, that is a big deal to me, because one of the big players of the New World Order, right, is jumping on board with them, which we already know is in the background. So let's just move forward a little bit, because in 2020, Gary Gensler, who is now what, our SEC person? Yeah, the guy in the SEC, we know him. I want you to listen to what he says here.
We have been leapfrogged by others, by digital currency, by digital Chinese currency. Why? Because frankly, our central bank has been slow, and there's an appointment coming in January of 22. The president's got to decide whether to change over who's leading the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve runs our payment system. Right. And I think we need to move that Federal Reserve into the modern era. We have been leapfrogged by others, by digital currency. I want you to have one more time. Right. And I think we need to move that Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve runs our payment system. Right. And I think we need to move that Federal Reserve into the modern era. Who's leading the Federal Reserve? The Federal Reserve runs our payment system. One more time. To decide whether to change over who's leading the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve runs our payment system. Right. And I think we need to.
Now that I've played that for you, you see what this says? Fed person in order to migrate new faster. Gary Gensler said that. Got to move it faster. Well, look who they chose to pick. Statement from President on his intent to nominate Michael Barr to serve as a vice chair for supervision of the Federal Reserve. Michael Barr is a former Ripple advisor. It's there, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. That's there. It's right there. There's your news. There's your Ripple news. I don't know what else to tell you, man. Like, it's all coming together. It's all coming together. It's just here. And I don't know what else to tell you. Right? Just look at the facts, and I can just tell you, you guys are going to get so excited when this starts to pump, and you're going to sell early. There's going to be at least one person in here, and going to be at least 5 to 10 clients of mine that are going to scream and yell and say, I want to sell here. And then when they sell, they're going to say, oh man, I'm happy. And then literally 30 days later, they're going to hate their life. They're going to hate it so bad because they have waited 4 years, some only 2, some 1, some 6 months. But the people who've waited so long that are running out of patience, this is the time we watch it play out. It's a basketball game. It's a baseball game, right? It's a long marathon. You got to move forward. And here's an example why. And I'm going to play this for you, and this is how I'm going to close this out.
And I should say, actually, even originally with Tesla back in the day, funding was actually secured. I want to be clear about that. In fact, this may be a good opportunity to clarify that. Funding was indeed secured, and I should say, like, why do I not have respect for the SEC in that situation? And I don't mean to blame everyone at the SEC, but certainly the San Francisco office. It's because the SEC knew that funding was secured, but they pursued an active public investigation nonetheless. At the time, Tesla was in a precarious financial situation, and I was told by the banks that if I did not agree to settle with the SEC, that the banks would cease providing working capital and Tesla would go bankrupt immediately. So that's like having a gun to your child's head. So I was forced to concede to the SEC unlawfully, those bastards. And now it makes it look like I lied when I did not in fact lie. I was forced to admit that I lied to save Tesla's life, and that's the only reason.
Given what's actually happened,
I think that is a good idea for all of you that are watching this show now or later, and any XRP person right now that thinks it's just, what do we do? This is what's happening. They're going to bully and bully and bully. So Elon said, do what we got to do, and now boom, richest man in the world. And he just deals in electricity and cars, right? I mean, he's trying to go to space too. But imagine something changing the whole payment system. Gary just said right there, the whole thing needs to flip. And then they hire an ex-board member who can't be on the board anymore because he's being nominated of Ripple. Come on. That's all you need to know. Playing out right there. Like I said, NFTs are coming to the XRP ledger. They are coming to the XRP ledger. I'm going to play this last video for you guys, and then we'll close this out. Make sure you like, subscribe, and up this daily topics section before we go to new creation next. Like, subscribe, do the social media thing, guys. You know what it is. Let me know and comment below what you think of this section, what you think of XRP. Are you holding XRP? Are you hodling? If you're going to sell, what are your targets? But here's just a reminder of why you wouldn't. Thank you guys for tuning in. Here's the last part of this.
A bit late for that. I remember talking to an Australian diplomat at one point about this break between the US and China, and said, you know, both sides are going to say, whose team are you on? And he said, our job is to make sure the question never arises. But the question has arisen. And so I think we have to go deeper. And it's not about the US versus China. It's about what underpins a world order is always the financial system. I was very privileged. My father was an advisor to Nixon when they came off the gold standard in '71. And so I was brought up with a kind of inside view of how very important the financial structure is to absolutely everything else. And what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we are on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new one, the new accounting, is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens. In my opinion, we're going to need a digital constitution of human rights if we're going to have digital money. But also, this new money will be sovereign in nature. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private, but what I see are superpowers introducing digital currency. The Chinese were the first. The US is on the brink, I think, of moving in the same direction. The Europeans have committed to that as well.
Well, oh, well, oh, well, oh, well, all right. All right, so that is, let me get this off here and go here. Okay, so that, guys, is the end of the daily topic section, the end of most of the crypto section, and now we're into our end of the Christ section, man. I hope you guys are doing well. I got to see Ilya and Alex and Lee here this morning hanging out with me. We got 8 likes already, guys. Let me make sure. So, good, audio's working. We got 8 likes already. Let's see here. We got 8 likes already, so trying to get to 10. So please, when you get in here, get 10. It helps with the algorithm. What a crazy section. I'll upload that section later. You guys already know it. So it's 9:51. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into today's scripture, guys, which is going to be Matthew 25:14-30. So if this is where you get off, I appreciate you so much, man, or lady, friend, person. It's Monday, and I hope you guys just don't stress. It's okay. Things are going to happen and work out the way they're supposed to. And I'm very, very excited about that. So this is where you get off. I appreciate you. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow or next time. Remember, there's different podcasts. If you just want to listen to this, Apple Play, or Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, you know, all that social media thing, okay? Well, let's go ahead without enough self-promotion and dive into the new creation scriptures. This is my favorite part of the podcast. Thanks for hanging out. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, then you are a new creation. All right. Well, we are here after Resurrection Sunday. He has risen. In fact, right now, 2,000 years, a little less than 2,000 years ago, Jesus was walking around showing Didymus, doubting Didymus, his scars. Touch me here in the flesh, touch me here, see my hold. Walking through walls, walking through doors that are locked. Walking to people, showing up to people on the road to Emmaus. I think it's Emmaus, right? No? 7 miles there in that walk. A lot of things were happening right now. And he talked about, you know, hey, I just defeated death. Just defeated death. Just defeated death. But that's not what we're going to speak about today. That's what we spoke about yesterday. I did, if you get a chance, let me do this real quick so you can see. I go to Social Dallas. It's pretty cool. This is what we had yesterday with research. Chandler Morris and Randy, so shout out to you. One of our wishes is now he is risen. Shout out to one of the production. Fire back to what Christ says about investments. And that's what I want to read to you today, right? Because the Bible is not just about being a sinner. I mean, it's there. And about Jesus' love, and that's there too. But also just some good, hardcore advice from our Lord. And Jesus means Savior. Yeshua means Savior. So let me read this to you, okay? It says, Matthew 25:14-30. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey. And he's describing the kingdom, right? He gives a lot of parables about the kingdom. So he says, again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags of gold, and another 1 bag of gold, each according to his ability. So the Lord, we're going to say the Lord gave somebody what they could handle based on their ability. 2 bags, 1 bag, 5 bags. The man who received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 more bags. So he doubled, 100%. Boom. There it is, a 2x right there. From 100 to 200, from 5 bags to 10 bags. Awesome. So also the one who had 2 bags gained 2 more. Perfect. Hey, I didn't get 10 bags, but I got 2 bags. There's a 2x. So from 2 bags to 4 bags. Wonderful. But the man who had received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. Okay? After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who received the 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put in charge of you many things. Come and share your master's happiness. The man with 2 bags of gold also came. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. Then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. Master, he said, I knew you were a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you. His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. You knew that I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. Well, then you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so that when I return, I would have received it back with interest. So take back the gold from him. And give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even when they have, what will be taken from them? And thrown that worthless servant outside into the darkness, where they were weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now, that darkness is a referral to hell. The master here is a servant to Christ. The investors are us. God has given us gifts according to what we are capable of. Not just that, but finance. All of us have different finances. Some have extra $20,000 a day to play with. Some have $5 a day. Some have $50,000 period in their savings, right? And this is what they're playing with. So it's important to invest what is best, understanding the consequences of not. Now, this is Christ speaking as far as us spiritually. So he gives us the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, kindness, and self-control. I hope I didn't say one of those twice, right? Self-control. All of these things are a part of the fruit of the Spirit. So what we use with them, what we double with them. So if the Lord gives us a car, now let's say God gives us $5 to tithe with, or what we do, we take 10% of that, we tithe with it, and hope that we can multiply it through what he has called us to do. This can matter with a thank you. Someone give you a thank you, give 2 out. Pass it on. Like, it's really hard for me to give a short 5-minute sermon on this besides to say what the Lord gives you, use, don't bury. I guess that's the easiest right there. What the Lord gives you, use, don't bury. Man, that's it. What the Lord gives you, use, don't bury. Yeah, that's it. Because if you bury it, you're already putting it in the darkness. So if you're going to put yourself in the darkness, why would he use you? But if you take what he gives you and you don't bear it and you go off and multiply it, those who have more from him, he will increase. Those who can't do much with the little you have given, he will decrease. The same goes with investing. Smart investments, patient investments, more will be given to you. Quick turnaround, trying to get rich overnight, that will be taken from you. It's a long haul. It's a marathon. We don't know when Jesus is coming back, but when he comes back, I want him to say, good job. Good job. Well done. Well done. Good job. Faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. Now I will give you many. Don't bury your gifts in the dark. Multiply. Don't bury. Man. What a word from God. That's just the parable of the bags. Simple. The gifts God gives you. Don't bury. Don't bury your gift. Don't bury your gift. That's it. Guys, man, I don't know what else to say after that. That's just what's in my mind right now. Don't bury your gift. That's the Lord speaking to me right now. That's what he's telling me. I don't know if you need to hear this, but that's what I need to hear right now. The Lord is telling me in this moment not to bury my gift. So to you, I tell you, despite everything you're dealing with right now, despite what you think you may have or what you think you may not have or who you think's coming or your politics or your fear, all of that, do not bury the gift God is giving you. In fact, go and increase and build on it. So when he returns, he can say, well done, good and faithful servant. That's Matthew 25, 14 to 30. Guys, do the social media thing here. That's the end of this section. I love you guys so much. Let's go ahead and move on. This is my favorite part of the podcast. Thanks for hanging out. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, then you are a new creation. Okay, it is 10 o'clock, guys, and that is the end of the show. We are done. We are done. We are done on Monday morning. We have our little retrace as expected here. Bitcoin kind of back testing there. Let's check on Ethereum. Bring up all those little fun things and zoom in here on the 10-minute before we get out of here. And I'm going to hit the auto to zoom in more. Boom. A little quick movement there. Look at that. Broke up, back testing 2.236. So we're going to see if this is going to stepping stones. Trying to break over 3,000 for Ethereum. XRP rejected off the bottom form of that channel. Trying to get us out of here. Let's see. XLM trying to back test that parabola, which means normally when it back tests at breaking out of a parabola, there's a good chance it's going to reject. So that's what I am looking at across the board. Right there. Dang. Litecoin's running right up to resistance too, guys. So be careful on this Monday. I'd say hold off on your trades on this Monday and wait for the day to play out. Besides that, guys, this is your boy Christian Israel. You are tuned into Christ and Crypto in the morning, where every day we talk about not just Christ, who's at the center of the show, but everything else going on in what? Society and politics and investments and the markets and equities. We do Christ and Crypto on this show. But, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I go live. This channel gets shadow banned a lot because I talk about Christ and Crypto. The world doesn't want that. But what I want to tell you before I go, last but not least, do not bury your gift. Do not bury your gift. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. You mean a lot to me. Remember, I love you. More importantly, God loves you, so you know you are loved. Until next time, guys, God bless. Catch you later.
Bit late for that.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, subscribe to this channel, and do the thing that people do on social media. At Twitter, at TikTok, New Creation Capital. Let us know, guys. Thanks so much. I hope you guys have a great day. Later, guys.